Hi viewers, this is Dr. Jana and you are watching video with me on the various algorithms, the machine learning algorithms. In our previous videos, we have discussed about the logistic regression and also Naive algorithm, and a number of algorithms we discussed. Today, we are going to discuss about the decision tree. Why we go for this decision tree and what are the importance that we'll study here. Decision tree, as you know, it is a supervised machine learning, and here the data is continuously splitting according to a certain decision. The tree can be explained by two entities. One is the decision nodes and the leaves. Finally, what we get, that is the leaves, it will come like yes or no, fit or unfit, like that we are going to get it that. And the leaves are the decision or the final outcomes, and the decision trees where the data we continuously go on splitting. See, we take an example. We are going for predicting whether a person is fit or unfit. So we are taking the root nodes. So many nodes we can take it here, like what is the age and what is the eating habits, whether he does an exercise. So like that we can take it. We are going to predict whether a person is fit, given their information like age, eating habit, physical activities like exercises, etc. And the decision nodes here are questions like what is the age of the person, does he exercise, does he eat a lot of pizzas, and the leaves nodes, the outcome like fit or unfit. You can see here, I am putting if the age is less than 30, if the decision it is yes, then something we are going to decide. If it is no, if his age is not less than 30, that means he is greater than 30, then is he doing an exercise properly, doing exercise in the morning? If it is doing yes, then maybe he is fit. If not doing, then he is unfit. Similarly, even if his age less than 30 years and he is eating a lot of pizza or junk foods, so his health will be unfit if he is eating a lot of pizza. If he is not taking, maybe he is fit. So these are a very simple example we are going how we decide the nodes and how we use this decision tree and ultimately find whether he is fit and unfit. Next slide we can go for what are the different type of decision trees. So coming to our decision tree concept, we are having two type of decision trees. You can see it here, we classify them into two. One is the classification tree, second one the regression tree. How many types are there? There are mainly two type of decision trees. One is the classification trees, second one is the regression trees. Here in classification trees, you have seen the above example, what you have taken, a person is physically fit or unfit. Here the decision variables are categorical. It is coming in fit or unfit, yes or no. And when the outcome variable is coming like the classic categorical like fit or unfit, so this type of trees we use it for classification purpose. Another category, that is the regression type or regression tree, where the continuous data types are there. For example, suppose the outcome variable comes like a number 50, 60, like that. So these type of things we call it as a regression tree. You know this, the basic difference between regression and classification. Here one important thing is that the decision tree we can using both for regression as well as the classification. When the dependent variable is categorical, we use the classification tree. When the dependent variable it is continuous, we call it the regression tree. Fine. And we are having a number of algorithms, but here we will be mainly focusing on this ID3 algorithm. The ID3 stands for the iterative dichotomizer 3. Iterative dichotomizer 3. Okay, so this is the thing we will be focusing. Now let us see one more example, and from this example we can clearly understand. And one more concept we will be using, the entropy, or this entropy also we call it as the Shannon entropy. It is after the name of Shannon. We also call it as the Shannon entropy. This is generally represented by this notation H of S. In some cases I am writing entropy also E of parent EP, EF, child EC. But here the notations we have taken the Shannon's entropy by the general notation H of S. So what is the purpose of this entropy? Why it is used? It is used to measure the amount of uncertainty or the randomness in the data. In the data, what is the uncertainty or what is the randomness that we measure? And as I told that it is represented by H of S, and which is represented by the equation of H of S, which is equal to summation of P of x log of 1 by P of x base 2. It's clear? Again I am repeating. So it is H of S, that is the entropy, which is equal to summation of P of x, the probability of finding x, into logarithm of 1 divided by P of x. Logarithm of a by b, you know, log a minus log b, and log 1 is equal to 0, and minus log of p by x is multiplied, that is the equation is simplified to minus P of x log of px base 2. It's clear? This is the things we are going to do. So this entropy equation what we are using, it tells us about the predictivity of certain events, right? Let us take an example here. So usually in a match or some occasions we go to toss a coin, what is the head and what is the tail. Here we have two sides, one is head and one is tail, naturally in all the coins. So what is the probability that it will be head? It is 1 by 2, because if you toss, out of 2 only 1 will come. Similarly, the probability of tails, it is also 1 by 2 or 0.5. Here the entropy is the highest possible, because nothing better can be done here, since there is no way of determining what the outcome might be. It's clear? Oh, you take one more example. Suppose we go for tossing a coin where both the sides have heads. You can see, is it possible, sir? Yeah, you have seen now in this movie Sholay, Amitabh Bachchan is intentionally using a coin of single, both the sides are heads only, because he is showing his character is a very positive person. So in case he decides to do something, he does. So he will be bluffing Dharmendra using the toss as if head is there, tail is there, but Dharmendra doesn't know tail is not there in that coin. So he will be using only that coin to save the life of this police officer and also whatever the important decisions he has taken. Okay, forget about all these things. Now here, the entropy here can be predicted perfectly, since we know beforehand that there is always be head. Whatever the toss you make it any time, the output will be heads only. In other words, the event has no randomness, hence it is entropy 0. In a particular lower values implies, in particular a lower value implies less uncertainty, higher values implies high uncertainty. So these are some of the things and the terminology we will be using in our decision tree. Now one more concept, you come here, we will be using Gini index and information gain. Gini index we will talk. Now let us see what is this information gain. The information gain also it is called, that is Kullback-Leibler divergence, denoted by IG. IG stands for the information gain of the set S, given that the attribute A we are using there, right? That is denoted by IG of S comma A. So it is measures the relative changes in entropy with respect to the independent variable A. Okay, so I can say information gain of S comma A, which is equal to information, which is the information gain of S minus, that is the entropy of S minus entropy of S while taking this attribute A, right? So this is the things we will be using and this Px is the probability of event X. Px is the probability of X. Okay. So now let us go to our next slide. Let us go for that algorithm. What is the algorithm we are using? ID3 algorithm. What are the main points or what are the steps in the thing? And these steps are to be recursively used. Fine. First one, we create a root node for this tree, because when you talk about a tree structure, there must be a root node spanning. It is a top-down process. And if all examples are positive, return the leaf node as positive, because leaf node will give it the output. And else, if all the examples are negative, return the leaf node is negative, and we calculate the entropy of the current state H of S, then, or we can say entropy of parent, and we can calculate the entropy of child also, that is denoted by H of S. Taking this this attribute X, then select the attributes which has maximum values Ig S of X, and remove the attributes that offer highest Ig, and we can repeat it until run out of these attributes. All the attributes are finished, and the decision tree has all leaf nodes only. Okay, so this is the principle on which our decision tree works. Now let us take one more example here. You can see we are going to predict whether a cricket match is going to be conducted on a particular day. For that, what we do? We take the data for the last 2 weeks, 14 days, and there will be attribute like the outlook, the temperature, the humidity, wind, okay, and the outcome variables is whether the cricket will be played on that particular day. The data is given, so using this data we have to predict, you have to make a model, and we have to predict in a particular day whether cricket can be played or not. Okay, so using all this, the data, I am not showing it here, using the data I can say how many out of these 14 days, say suppose 9 days is yes, it is played, because all this humidity, everything was okay, so it was played, and 5 days it was no, out of 14. Okay, so now if you see how we calculate the entropy and all things, now see the entropy, what is the equation for this entropy? So this entropy of S, the parent, I have given the equation summation of Px into log 2 1 by Px. By simplifying, what we will find? You will find minus P of x log of Px, base 2 log 2, right? Then how many entity are there here? One is number of S, it is 9, and number of no, it is 5. So total is 9 plus 5, 14. So minus 9 by 14 log 2 of 9 by 14. Again minus sign is common there, minus 5 by 14 log 2 of 5 by 14. So simplifying all the things, we got the entropy is equal to 0.940. So let it be, you calculate what is the things and you can find, just I have not calculated, I am assuming that it is 0.94. If the entropy is 0, what does it mean? Then it belongs to the same class, and when it is 1, the half of them belong to one class and the other half belong to other classes. Because if the entropy is 0, that means all are S only, all are fit. If entropy is showing 1, then means 50% of them are fit and 50% are unfit out of this data. You get it now? That is the thing. Now, how we analyze all the things? Here our entropy is 0.94, which is, the meaning is that the distribution is fairly random. More randomness is there, you can get it there. Now the next step is to choose the attributes. Which attribute we are going to choose. Now if you see the next slide, we are using the same entropy. Now let us see, we consider the attribute, particular attribute wind. If wind is more, most probably it will be difficult to play the cricket. If wind is strong, we cannot play, and if it is weak, we can play. So we take the wind based on this wind out of this 14 data. For 8 cases it is weak wind and 6 cases it is strong wind. Then how do we calculate? The probability of S is weak. Okay, that means the day we are playing, whether it is yes or no. It is weak, it is yes. If it is strong, it is no. So that is 8 by 14, because for the weak it is given 8 and total is 14. The probability of S is strong, that is 6 by 14, here is there. So using this thing also we can calculate our entropy. Same equation you can use it, minus 6 by 8 log 2 6 by 8 minus 2 by 8. You got it now? So all the things we can do it. It's clear? Now let us go to another example here where we can clearly find what are the things regarding this decision tree. Till now, what we studied, we analyze is like this. The decision tree is a supervised machine learning algorithm, and it is used both for regression and classification. When the dependent variables are continuous in nature, we use it for regression, and when the dependent variable is categorical, yes or no, fit or unfit, we use it as a classification algorithm. And the decision tree, it uses the features in the data set to create yes or no questions and continuously split the data set until we isolate all the data points belonging to each of the classification, either yes or no, fit or unfit. So it uses either the Gini index or the information gain. Both we are using Gini index and information gain in splitting criteria, and we take the decision like yes or no. Let us take an example. Suppose a student, especially a candidate, got 2 job offers. Okay. Now he has to take a decision to join one of these companies. So what are the criteria he takes here? First is the salary, then the brand of the company names, whether it can be MNC company or L3, L2 or startup. Then the location, he has prefer over some location also. Then a cab features, providing the transportations. Okay. So there are so many people, they least bother about the MNCs. They get good salary, they join any startup company also. They least bother it is MNC or L3 or L2. But there are some people who gives more importance on the salary. So if the salary is 2 packages or lakhs I am talking about, then okay, what is the company, they least bother. But some people, they think about a good brand company, and some people they compromise with the salary. And suppose a woman employee, she will prefer a cab to be provided because it will be difficult to drive in a city and have a car initially. So if company is providing a transportation, say cab facility there, he picks the candidate from the room, and also after the job is over completed, then drop it in the house. So it is a better facility. So salary and the company name is not important for him. If the company is providing the facility of cab facility, definitely she prefers. Some people, they prefer the location, because especially our children or our students from this side, they hesitate to go to Noida and that side, northern side and all things. For 2 reasons. One is the food problem, because they are not acquainted with the North Indian food. Second thing is the language, even if they will be communicating in English, but they will be dealing with the local people and all things. So the local market and all things. So that is the reason initially they hesitate. So suppose the candidate has a priority on this location. So how we are going to do this type of things here? Now let us see. I try to make a decision tree, and I have to select 3 important things. One is the root node, that is the topmost node. You can see I have taken the salary, and my condition is the salary more than 30,000, only the candidate is interested to join or is going to reject. So if it is less than 30, whatever the company, he is going to reject the offer. Then the decision nodes. Here you can see all the decisions you are taking. Based on the location, we are taking a decision. Based on a cab, we are going to take a decision. Based on a MNC, we are going to take decision. So these are all the decision nodes, or we call it the branches. Then ultimately, finally, you are getting the leaf node, that is yes, accept, reject, reject, reject. These are things. So these are the 3 things we require to represent a decision tree. Now let us see how we calculate the Gini index, GI, and the information gain. We calculate the probability of a data point being misclassified or the wrongly classified when it is picked randomly. Sorry. Now let us take one example. When we take the result of some students in a semester, and we are going to predict the student pass or fail. Let there are 4 students, S1, S2, S3 and S4. This is the name of the student. Student 1 pass, student 2 fail, student 3 fail, student 4 pass. Now probability of student being passed, it is calculated using the Gini index. How do you calculate? Use the formula GI, which is equal to 1 minus summation of pi square, I is equal to 1 to n. Okay, are you getting? So this Gini index we calculate for S1, for S2, S3, and let it be x1, x2, x3. Are you getting me? So the formula we are using, okay, let us take this example and try to solve this one. So in the next slide, I am going to calculate the Gini index. Now suppose x1 is the minimum. So then I put it x1 is the root node. Then based on that x2, x3, I put on the branch nodes and finally the leaf nodes. The probability of misclassification, that means consider the minimum value here to find it. Then information gain is decided or derived based on this entropy. Okay. So now if you go to our next slide, we go for this calculation of this impurity present in our data. Suppose we take 10 number of data points, 10 number of data set like that. The student, 10 number of students wrote the exam. Out of that, suppose they are represented by the number of students pass and fail. P stand for the pass, A stand for this fail. So if 10 people pass out of 10, it is the most pure data. If it is 10 people failed out of 10, this is the most impure data. You get it now? So if, are you getting me? So if it is 9, 1 or 1, 9, so this is the either the pure data, more pure, and the more impure, like that we can also say. And if you see this entropy analyze, it ranges between 0 and 1. So it can be 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, like that. And entropy is found using this equation minus of pi log of pi. This you know. And the information gain we calculate like entropy of parent minus entropy of child node. That is Ig in information gain we equal to Ep minus Ec. Now till now we are studying the theory. Now you see we can predict based on any three nodes or any three decisions like the salary location cab or cab MNC or location cab MNC, like that. And it uses the top down approach and the data point belongs to one class. Clear? Now next slide, let us see one more example. Here we are going to predict a loan status. Suppose there are some people, some persons, 5 number of persons, they applied for some loan amount, and loan amount, let it be in dollars, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $2,500 and $1,500, and the status is good, bad, good, bad. This is the data, existing data it is given. So based on this, we are going to predict. So what are the attributes are here? One is the ID. It may be the account number or loan ID of that person. Second one is the loan amount. Third one is the status, whether the loan is sanctioned or not sanctioned. Why it is sanctioned, not sanctioned? Because everybody is interested to have a loan and they want to purchase or they have to do some work or business, but they successfully forget to repay the loan. So it becomes a headache for these bank people to collect the loan. So in that case, before sanctioning the loan amount, they have to verify their previous data and record, whether this man is a defaulter or he repays the loan in time. So in that case, based on that, it will be easy for them to decide whether to sanction loan to this person or not. That is the thing it is done here. Here, the status here, what you see, this is the target variable. ID and loan amount, they are the independent variables. The status is depending on this ID and the loan amount. Now let us decide the root nodes. So assuming that we are using this amount only for the root node, and I am initially going for the people applying for more than $2,500 or 2.5k. So amount greater than 2.5k. So now you can see the condition, if the condition is true, that means if loan amount is more than or equal to 2005k, some bad or good it will come here. If it is false, that means remaining some good, and assuming that, okay, I am not sticking on to this one. So I am taking that if the amount is 2005 and more, there are two bad. This type of people, they have never repaid. And if it is false, that means it is less than 2.5k, it is 1000k, 2000k, 1500k. So there are two good and one bad, say like that. Similarly, assuming the loan amount greater than 2000, suppose in the case of true, we are having two bad, one good, and in the false case, it is one bad and one good. Then how do we calculate the Gini index and how do we calculate the information gain? Now, assuming our previous example, the amount greater than 2, you can see it here, the amount greater than 2.5. Here, if it is true, if the condition is true, then we are having two bad. If it is false, we are having two good and one bad, right? Then what is the Gini index? Now, Gini index at a time we cannot calculate for all. We calculate the Gini index for the left side, then we go for the Gini index of the right hand side, then we go for the combined Gini index when amount is greater than 2.5. Okay? How do we calculate the Gini index of left hand side? You can see in the Gini index there are how many things are there? Only two bad. Total is two bad and here one case is there only two bad. So 1 minus summation of pi square. So it is 2 by 2. Pi means 2 by 2 here. Probability of 2 bad is 2 out of 2. So 1 minus in square bracket in the braces 2 by 2 whole square. So 2 by 2 is equal to 1. Square of 1 is equal to 1. 1 minus 1 is equal to 0. What does mean it means? So are you following me? The number of randomness here it is 0. There is no randomness. Purely to be there. Right? That means how many will be bad, how many will be good, that number, the randomness is not there. You get it? Then while I am calculating the right hand side, same formula I am using 1 minus summation of pi square. See 2 plus 1, total how many? It is 3. Out of 3, how many good? 2 by 3. Bad how many? It is 1 by 3, the probability. Okay? Then 1 minus in square bracket in the braces 2 by 3 square plus 1 by 3 square. 2 by 3 whole square it is equal to 4 by 9. 1 by 3 square it is equal to 1 by 9. 4 by 9 plus 1 by 9 it is 5 by 9. And 1 minus 5 by 9 it is equal to 4 by 9. Then what is the Gini index of right hand side? It is 4 by 9. What is the Gini index of left hand side? It is 0. Right? And what is the percentage of this left side? You see, if you calculate the total, this is 2 bad, 2 good and 1 bad. It is altogether it is 5. 2 plus 2, 4 plus 1 it is 5. So here it is 2 by 5 for the left hand side, right hand side is 3 by 5. Is it okay? So while I go for this weighted average, then what I do? The left hand side 2 by 5 into this 0 plus right hand side 3 by 5 into this 4 by 9. Same thing I have done it here, weighted average. 2 by 5 into 0 plus 3 by 5 into 4 by 9. So by simplifying this term it becomes 0 and 3 is 9. So 3 5 is 15, 4 by 15. Is it clear? So now we found the Gini index with amount greater than 2.5. It is 4 by 15. Is it clear? So next we are going to calculate the Gini index with amount greater than 2000. Same procedure we follow. When the condition is true, suppose we are having 2 bad, 1 good, and when it is false, we are having 1 bad, 1 good. Because from this data table we can find it is easy. Count and write it there. Now how do you calculate the Gini index for the left hand side? GI of L. So 1 minus 2 by 3 because total is 2 plus 1 3 here, 2 by 3 whole square plus 1 by 3. Again it is coming 4 by 9. Then Gini index of the right hand side, it is 1 plus 1 2. So 1 by 2 1 by 2. Right? 1 minus 1 by 2 whole square plus 1 by 2 whole square. So by simplifying it is coming 1 by 2. Then for left and right, what is the Gini index? It is the weighted average of both the two. Here this is 3, 4, 5. Total is 5. So here 3 by 5. Here it is 2 by 5. Okay. So 3 by 5 into 4 by 9 because Gini index is 4 by 9 plus 2 by 5 into Gini index is equal to 1 by 2. Simplifying all the things it is coming 7 by 15. Previous case it was 4 by 15. This case it is 7 by 15. Are you getting me? Previous case it was 4 by 15. This case is 7 by 15. That means 4 by 15 is less than 7 by 15. From this fraction you can clearly understand. Then which one will be our root index, you can clearly understand. Okay, or the root node for these things you can clearly understand, right? Minimum one we are going to take. Now suppose this is the things we calculated for this amount. Now again we calculate it for the ID, because each and every customer is having a ID or some account number or whatever things are there. Maybe loan ID will be there instead of account number, because when somebody is opening and closing, that is a account, but when somebody is applying for a loan, so we call it as loan ID. So we can calculate the Gini index of this ID. Suppose by comparing G of amount came 0.78 and G of ID came 0.65. Then what is the minimum? Minimum is 0.65. So in that case, what will be the root node? G of ID, that means ID will be the root node. You got it now? The next part, we are going to calculate the information gain. How do we calculate the information gain? Information gain is calculated using EP minus EC. I have already given you the initially, that is H of S minus H of X, comma X. Same thing, notation is different. That is entropy of parent minus entropy of child. So it gives which feature is important. Here the maximum value is taken, right? Now let us go to our next slide. Now let us take and calculate the information gain based on the amount, and the amount is more than 2.5K. That is $2,500. What is the probability of bad? It is 3 by 5. And the probability of good, because from this you can understand good, bad, how many good are there, how many bad is there, you can understand. The probability of bad is equal to 3 by 5 and the probability of good is 2 by 5. Let it be. Then how do we calculate the entropy? Entropy, I told you that minus of Pi, summation of minus of Pi log of Pi. Here the Pi, what is the PB? It is 3 by 5. What is the Pi here? It is 2 by 5. So minus of 3 by 5 log 3 by 5, here minus of 2 by 5 log 2 by 5, because minus sign is already taken common here, so both the plus are there. And simplifying the entire equation, we find a entropy of parent is 0.815 say, and we take it as x1. Similarly, for the second one, we calculate the right hand side. This is I have given the left side and right hand side. Right hand side we can calculate the entropy of right hand side. Suppose it is coming something like that, 2 by 3 log of everything and all things, it is coming 0. Let it be. Okay? Are you following me? So this 0 we are taking as x2 and this one as x1. So I am going for this combined entropy. How do we calculate? That is EL plus ER. That is the weighted average again. Say 2 by 5 into x1 plus 3 by 5 into x2, like that. Suppose, simplifying all the things, we find something, in the next slide I am going to show you, we found something, information gain there. In the similar manner, for more than 2000 also amount, we can calculate the information gain. Here the information gain is 0.372, and the previous case, the information gain was 0.62. Are you getting me? So which one is the maximum? 0.62 is one. So based on that we are going to decide the things, right? So this is all about our decision tree, and all this theory part we have completed and I have explained you. I hope you understand these things. If you do really like this video, please do share with your friends, and also don't forget to subscribe this channel also. And if you have any queries and doubt, please be free, either send it by SMS or mail to me, so that I will try to explain you all the things. So next thing, that how do we implement all these things in our Python? Once we complete our series, all the theory part, we are going for this implementation using all these Python libraries, and entire things I will show you with the practical example. Thank you for watching this video, and take care of your health. Goodbye.